Welcome to A Way Forward. I am your host, Maria. We're in the second season of our conversation. So if you haven't seen them yet, please like and subscribe. My guest today is going to help us think about a way forward when it comes to opening our minds more to the beauty and opportunity and humanity that exists in the world's cultures. Amina Mamati is a travel storyteller, blogger, and founder of Young International, spotlighting culture driven journeys to overlooked destinations around the world. You can follow along with her travels on Instagram at Miss Young International, where you can see her doing things like holding an eagle while on horseback in Mongolia, taking in the gorgeous coastline of Balochistan, or enjoying the food and culture of Papua New Guinea. Welcome to A Way Forward, Amina.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I feel very special and honored.
We have special people on this show, so I'm blessed. So you're a travel storyteller, but you've put a spin on it because you've specifically avoided top 10 lists of travel luxury magazines of places to go and people to meet. And I think it's brilliant and beautiful and admirable as well. And I want to know what actually sparked the idea for you to go away from the travel destination top 10 lists.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for your compliments. I really appreciate you. Honestly, it was becoming very overwhelming to see the same destinations over and over and over. On the media, you see Italy, you see Spain, and it's like I feel like I've been there already. That there has to be other destinations for me to see. And, I hear Pakistan on the news. I hear Papua New Guinea, and I know there are people there who, have lives like I do, who go to school, who go to the mall, who go to the park with their families. I want to go there and I want to capture the true essence of those destinations to show the world that, you should go there as well.
It's a very powerful role to have with this new sort of media, which is social media and how people are learning information for travel bloggers that are committed to showing people the world. Because the media that has the most money can create narratives about certain places, but you actually can go in there and open that up for people. So I just think it's beautiful. I always feel like we're driven by our background or impacted by our background or our childhood and the things that we value about ourselves. And I know from reading about you that you were brought up in Paris, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Growing up
Yes.
in Paris, you're from an African background and you live in New York. So, if you could speak to a little bit about your multicultural experience, how that's shaped your perspective of the world, and maybe has helped you see the biases which you choose to now counter.
Sure. Yeah, I was born and raised in Paris. My mom is Malian and my dad is Congolese. So Mali, Congo, two different cultures, two different religions, living in France. France is very diverse. Like my high school, I had friends from Morocco, Pakistan, Sierra Leone, like all over the world. And now I finally get to see what the countries look like and things like that. I would say it played a role in why I'm so curious about the world. But I think also I've always been a little bit like rebellious. I like to go where people don't tell me not to go and find out for myself. But I do think people who come from more than one background or like different cultures are gonna be naturally a little bit more interested, I think, in what's going on, yeah, in the
Yeah,
world.
I use this term called third culture. I'm sure that you've heard that third culture is like when you're a mixture of different cultures, or you have one culture and you move to another place, so you live like an expat, right? And I've had that experience myself in different phases of my life, so I understand the value of culture. But what I also know that really impacted me, and I wanted to know how this impacted you. Children, when they're exposed to different ethnicities and cultures and faiths and races, I would love to know how growing up in an international community, especially in school, how that impacted you.
Oh, it's I think when you're younger, you kind of like don't really realize your environment, a little bit later. Like for me, because France is extremely diverse. To me, I was French. Like I'm French.
Yeah.
She's Moroccan, but she's French. he's from Senegal, but he's French. We're all French.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you grow up and you travel and people start asking you questions like, where are you really from? And which country are you from? And I was like, oh, well, I'm from Mali and Congo, yes. And then it's like, I should probably dig a little bit more about that also.
Mhm.
And I want to know about your culture too. And I want to know, so yes, I think a multicultural environment is always going to be prone to lead people to more curiosity.
Yeah.
Um, but you definitely realize it a little bit later, like now.
Mhm. Yeah, because you see the kids as people, right? I mean, you just see them as your friends. So you don't.
Yes.
And it's interesting that you say France because this whole movement, across Europe that we're seeing, there's also the opinion that multiculturalism is a liability for a nation. But what you're describing and what it has come to be in your life is that it's been an asset. I mean, even you growing up in France.
I would say so. It's like different layers. It's like you see
Yeah.
me, if I don't speak, you think I'm American. Then I start
Mhm.
speaking and you're like, are you Jamaican? Are you this? And I'm like, no, I'm actually from France. And then it's like, but you're black. So it's like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm African French, I guess, whatever word you I
Yeah.
started saying African French now.
African French. Okay.
African French. So there is so many layers that you have
Yeah.
to kind of explain, yeah, and,
Yeah.
be proud of too. Yeah, yeah.
I know that you said you have a rebellious side, but how do you actually pick your destinations then? What is the process that you've done? We listed a few with Balochistan, Pakistan, this different areas, but do you have a philosophy or a strategy?
I would say so. I think for me in the beginning, I was just going, just picking the most random countries and
Mhm.
that I would see are beautiful online. I do a lot of research, so I look at the places. I also want to enjoy myself. Like actually, I want to enjoy myself, so I will look up things I want to do in that country. Is there beaches? Is there monuments I want to see? Is there good food? So that's my starting point. And then after that, I'm like, okay. I want to boost tourism there. Like I want people to also be able to go. It's not like, oh, I went there, I'm a hero. It's like a war zone or things like that. I want people to feel like they can go as well. That's my goal. You know, you've been to Spain 50 times, you've been to Mexico. You can also go to Mongolia and do a retreat on the lake, and you
Oh,
can
wow.
go to Uzbekistan and go wine tasting, you know. So
Mhm.
it's really based on that. I want you guys, and I genuinely have fun. Like everything that I'm showing is things that I enjoyed doing. If it's on my page, I didn't enjoy doing it. But if it's on my page, I enjoy doing it. So that's always my starting point. Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because you're saying that you're encouraging people to go to these places. You're encouraging humanity to connect to humanity, right? Like it's not just the beaches and the beautiful scenic shots that you have, but really meeting people. Like, have you been surprised?
My experience wouldn't have been the same without the people in each of these destinations. Like the people are always gonna make your experience.
Mhm.
If you go somewhere and nobody is nice to you or nobody's hospitable, it's gonna be hard for you to go back because you won't feel welcome. People have shaped my trips like for years. I just
Wow.
the communities and because I'm African, I always try to find communities in each country that I can relate to in a way, and like when it comes to like descendants or things like that. So it is a big factor also how I pick my destinations too. Yeah.
There's various layers of people that are traveling. So you can either travel and enjoy the food, or you can take pictures and you can have really like awesome Instagram videos. But you take it really a step further. And I think you really go into spaces and conversations that maybe other people have not had. So, what I was amazingly surprised to see, and so blessed to be able to find your page for this reason, is you went into the Shidi community, right,
Yeah.
in Pakistan. And for people who don't know that, and I can guarantee you, Pakistanis in Pakistan, Pakistanis in Europe, Pakistanis in the States, people don't know what the Shidi community is. And I think it's just creating this humanity. So please tell me how that was, and yeah, the whole thing.
It was my favorite moment in Pakistan. Definitely. It was such a beautiful human exchange for me.
And just for the audience, the Shidi community is.
Is the Afro-Pakistani community in Pakistan.
Wow.
We don't know exactly which country they came from, but we know they've been on the continent for centuries. They've been there forever. And you can actually see their from their facial features that this is literally my cousin. Like this is literally this is literally my cousin, this is literally my grandma. And even the energy, it's like I felt like I was at a family reunion. um it's very far away from the city. I think we drove about 5 hours from Karachi to be able to go to those villages. Very, very far away. I read so much about them. I've seen videos of that community, but in India.
Hmm.
Not really about the one in Pakistan. But it was just they welcomed me like I just left to run an errand and I just came back. Yeah, like, it was literally beautiful. The songs, the energy was just unmatched. I can't even describe it because I felt like it was in like a twilight zone. It just felt like I just
Yeah.
came back home, literally.
How do you generally prepare to go to a new culture and a new country that's not been covered by like destination magazines?
Yeah, for sure. So first thing is, I try also to connect with locals. Papua New Guinea, I reached out to locals online, literally, hey, I'm coming to your country. I want to go here. How can I get there? How far is it from here? I think the locals are always gonna guide you. But I think people sometimes hesitate to do that, but that's my first thing. I reach out to locals.
Your pictures are gorgeous on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're really beautiful, and I think they really educate people on cultures and different places of the world that people have not been. Do you see this as a form of education?
I think people are very visual. Like
Mm.
people are very strategic about how I approach destinations. Because I know people, you go to Mexico because you love the beaches, because you love you go to the Maldives because you love the turquoise looking beaches. So I
Yeah,
think Pakistan, they have literally the same water. So I'm
yeah.
gonna hook you in with this first, and then we'll go in the Shidi community, and then we'll go
Mhm.
with the mountains, and then
So that's what's fascinating because there's such a strategy to it. Your Pakistan trip is a perfect example. You showed the beautiful beaches and the food and the restaurants and, the three major cities, the rich culture of Lahore and Karachi. And then it's like you are taking people through the journey. And I think it's so beautiful, Amina, because this is like the human experience of getting to know somebody and then not just staying in the superficial, but then digging in deep. And so I will tell you, when I saw the Shidi community, I was like struck by your visuals in Balochistan. And then I was like, oh, yeah, there's Lahore and there I've been to that restaurant, you know. And then you went into the Shidi community, and it's like I traveled with you to the place where you actually, your intent was to have me view all of that, but your powerful intent at the end to take me to the Shidi community, I felt like I wasn't robbed of anything. And in fact, I was uplifted from the whole experience because I did not know about the Shidi community. And now I feel like, I'm quite upset at myself for not knowing about the Shidi community. And I'm compelled to learn and I'm compelled to understand why I did not know about them. I love that strategy that you took because it really allows a person to evolve to where you are, which is also why I wanted to bring up Myanmar, because the headlines for Myanmar and Rohingya, I know people very close to me, my family, and friends and colleagues that have gone for humanitarian relief in Rohingya camps to provide medical relief. So that is like the headline I know. And so I would love to kind of hear about your reason for choosing Myanmar and how it impacted you.
Myanmar is like my second favorite country in the entire world.
Wow,
I cannot
beautiful.
wait to go back. Like oof, it's the most unique place I've ever seen. Like I've never seen a place that looks like Myanmar. People go to Thailand.
Yeah.
People go all around and never and don't really think about Myanmar, you know? So, if you're gonna go to Dubai, the UAE, I'm gonna go to Oman. If you're gonna go to China, I'll go to Mongolia. You're gonna go to Thailand, I'm gonna go to Myanmar.
Mhm.
And just looked absolutely beautiful online. I had never seen really content creators or influencers go there and showcase it. And so I was like, I'm gonna go. And it became my second favorite place. I tried to approach it with respect, meaning, you know what's going on with the military coup,
Yeah.
I told people do not shop at military companies when you go there. Be mindful of that.
Mhm.
You can ask people at your front desk, discreet, hey, I want to go here. They will tell you like, this is military owned, this hotel is military owned. So try to approach it with respect. But it was the most beautiful place I've seen, despite all that's going on. And I know things have changed just out because I went in 2022, 2023, I think. And you don't really feel that there's anything happening. You see the military, there's checkpoints, but we know people are suffering. We know it's happening. So I want to go back, and I know I will be fine, but it's also like I don't feel right going back at this time.
Do you feel the way the attitude that you go in with and into a new country is going to shape how joyous or the good opportunities or the good interactions you have versus like, oh my gosh, I'm scared and watch her. Does that attitude make a big difference when you travel abroad?
It makes a huge difference. If you go thinking people are, they're gonna look at me, they're gonna point at me, people are, gonna be mean to me, people will be mean to you because you remind
It's like whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find.
literally, you gotta go in with an open mind. And if you don't even feel like you're gonna have a good time, why even get on the plane? Because then you're gonna go there and you're gonna make reviews online. Oh, don't go. You guys don't go to this place. They're mean. But it's like, what did you do? Also, it's like, what did you do? Like you can't feel entitled as a tourist or a traveler. You gotta, once you land, it's not your rules anymore. You have to, I don't care if you're American or French, like you're in a new country, you have to obey by the rules of that country. If it's a mad country, then you don't wear a bikini. You don't wear a tight dress. You don't wear, so you also have to be mindful of that. You don't go somewhere and with your own rules and your own doings. So yeah, that's also
That's amazing. I mean, it's like we all know the stereotype of American tourists, right? We all know everyone who's traveling the world like, oh my God, they're gonna find out. So I think this whole notion where you're describing this humility that you go in with is key, right? Like this is someone else's culture and someone else's environment, and you find joy on those terms. And that's what makes it enriching.
It does. Like it's like, okay, I'm ready to go all in and just like try new things. And I want to be showing how things are done here and talk to locals and get into the fashion and like the traditional attire and everything. It's just like I'm from Pakistan this month. Okay. You're gonna do things the way they do things. Yeah.
So let me ask you. I mean, right now we have a saying in our faith and my faith that we've created you in nations and tribes so you may know one another. So we are supposed to know one another, and we're supposed to be getting to know other cultures. How do you try to amplify that message when what you see today in the world with so much division and there's so much polarization?
I see myself as an ambassador. Any country that I go to, I try to be like, okay, um, I want the person that, the next person to also feel welcome. Not just me. I don't want him to feel like she had an exclusive experience, for one. Two, I feel like there's so many things happening in the world right now. If you're a traveler, you can cover those moments that reminds the world that we're all human beings. It's not because, yeah, we see the war, we see the military, we see all of this. Behind that, there are people like you and I, people who go buy bread in the morning, who sit on the porch and drink beer with their friends, neighbors, kids who go to school and play in the snow. Like, there is humanity behind all these things. And I think I see it as my duty when I go to those places to show the true life behind the headlines. Where there's a lot of unrest happening, but they're just like you and I. When you connect with these people, we joke about the same things. As girlies, we all get our hearts broken. We go through the same thing worldwide. I feel like if you have a platform, it costs nothing to highlight that. We've seen. I can go on Google and see the beaches all day. I think the storytelling is a very important. And like I said, we will always be what drives visitors to a place. So why not just highlight that in the best way?
That's so beautiful, and I'm so thankful for your intent to do that. I wanted to ask you, when people do come visit, like like you go to these communities, what is the message that maybe some people say in those countries that they want you to know about them or their state? Have you had those conversations?
Yes, they always say, we're simple people. We're simple people. We're simple people. We don't, we have very simple lives. We're not people who are dangerous. Tell the
Mhm.
world, go back and tell them we want visitors
Okay.
to come. We're welcoming. We're hospitable. I think because they're not able to speak for themselves on such
Yeah.
huge platforms.
Yeah.
They want me to relay that everybody's welcome there. There's nothing to be worried about. And please come and see us. And they always feel super like happy when new faces show up. So it's always
Right.
good.
So what is next? What's your next destination?
My next destination, I really want to do Djibouti.
Okay.
Eastern Africa. I think a lot of people go to Somalia, go to Ethiopia, sometimes Somalia, but Djibouti is, I think, very unknown to the Western world when it comes to a travel destination. I'm going back to Papua New Guinea. They have 22
Yeah.
provinces and I only went to 3, so I want to explore more and hopefully maybe bring people with me. But yeah, Djibouti, I want to do more African destinations as well.
And thank you so much for showing us the world. I'm excited to see where you go next, and I'm excited for our audience to follow you. And thank you for taking time out of your journeys to let us dig deeper. I appreciate you, Amina.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It was amazing.